Keir Starmer, congratulations. You played yourself. Seriously, do you even think before you implement the Online Safety Act?
Breaking: 220,000 British citizens have signed a petition calling for an immediate general election in just 24 hours. This user saying Keir Starmer is finished. As of recording, you can see the petition is now quickly getting up towards 300,000 signatures. And so there's a combination of factors here. I'm not going to pretend like I know everything going on in UK politics, but some of the main issues that I've seen lately are, as we've been discussing, for example, UK's Online Safety Act, which is being rolled out on the population, as well.
I think Kirohai is going to mention this. Don't forget the immigration policy. They are protesting, hundreds of them. Of course, nice job, genius.
As a lot of critiques people have towards the UK's policies regarding asylum seekers. On the note about the Online Safety Act, for example, we talked about this a few days ago, where the White House warned Starmer, stop threatening US tech companies' free speech, because not only are they trying to police their own citizens, but they're also trying to intimidate American companies into bowing down to the censorship that they're demanding. For example, we saw emails that Rumble had gotten from UK's Office of Communications, where they were, as mentioned, trying to essentially intimidate Rumble into censoring the platform. One of the responses from Rumble is this email, which I found to be rather hilarious, really. It's a pretty funny response. I'll just read it really quick for anyone who missed this in the prior coverage. It says, "Dear Redacted," presumably a member of Ofcom. And so Rumble says to that member of Ofcom, "Dear Redacted, thank you for your follow-up email. Rumble has not finally determined whether the Online Safety Act applies to us, but we are inclined at this point in time to think that it does not. We do not have a significant number of online users in the UK, nor is the UK a target market for us. And while Rumble is capable of being accessed by UK users, we do not believe there is a material risk of significant harm to UK users of Rumble. As such, we do not believe that a call is necessary at this time."
Yes, W Rumble! Maybe I should post more on Rumble, as a backup. I haven't exactly used Rumble in a while now, okay? I don't know what happened to it. There is a possibility that what they're doing is two scenarios, okay? The first one, I think Keir Starmer is trying to set US and UK relation to the American Revolution. And the second scenario, remember, this is just theory, okay? Not real. I think they're trying to rebuild the British Empire. This is no longer free speech. Keir Starmer is threatening it.
Moving on, I also mentioned how another major issue in the UK right now is the government's policies on migrants or asylum seekers. And many people in the UK have been protesting against the government, saying that the government is intentionally enabling illegal immigration, and that the government is doing more to support these migrants that are coming over than the government is to support their own citizens. Furthermore, there's also been situations in the past in the UK regarding Pakistani grooming gangs targeting young children. And as awful as that is, it gets even worse because the government has been actively silencing people who speak up about this issue and criticize these policies. In one example that I bring up quite often, we saw a victim literally having police track her down and knock on her door to essentially intimidate her into silence. That's what it sounded like to me. And in other examples, we've seen the government create a so-called elite police squad to monitor any online discourse where people are criticizing these immigration policies. Oh, by the way, they might also label you a terrorist.
This is exactly what the British Empire used to do. Well, not exactly, but a little bit closer. I think the UK Online Safety Act, which also threatens American users and American tech companies, is probably going to set US and UK's relation to the American Revolution. Seriously, Keir Starmer, do you really want another defeat at Yorktown? If you want, go for it, but don't come running to us if you lose.
If you're concerned about this stuff. Now, earlier in the year, there was an inquiry proposed to look into these gangs and also specifically to look into why the government seems to be doing nothing to stop them, or at the very least, certainly not enough. And so that takes us to this clip, where it's about 30 seconds long, where Starmer seems to be saying that anyone who supports this inquiry is jumping on the bandwagon of the far right, which is clearly an insane thing to say, and I can't imagine how he thought this was a good idea, that this was a good take.
And when politicians, and I mean politicians, who sat in government for many years, are casual about honesty, decency, truth, and the rule of law, calling for inquiries because they want to jump on a bandwagon of the far right, then that affects politics, because a robust debate can only be based on the true facts.
I don't know why you see this so often these days, where someone will do something completely reasonable, like wanting to protect children from these horrible things, and then for some reason they'll get labeled like a Nazi or like far right or alt right. Pick whatever buzzword you want to use, because unfortunately these things have just become buzzwords nowadays.
And look at that. Congratulations, Keir Starmer. You just, evidently, because of your stupidity, you now angered the whole British people. I'm probably certain Scotland is already angry right now. Or in this case, the Highlanders. This is going back to the eras of King George. No, wait, or maybe King Henry. Just a speculation. I know to all my viewers who are from the UK, it is difficult for you to do this protest without, I don't know, being arrested. Thankfully, some of you are standing up and you're doing the right thing. Also, keep spreading this. Sooner or later, if the noise is so big, it can reach King Charles. And I think King Charles will approve a general election in the UK. Keep up the pressure, folks.
So yeah, as mentioned, now we've got protests all across Britain. Same breaking, massive protests all over Britain today to close the borders. You probably won't see this on the BBC. Then I want to show you guys this one really quick. I thought this lady was a complete Chad. Classy lady here protesting, and there was a bunch of counter protesters here too. So she was essentially alone by herself protesting the situation with these migrants, while a bunch of counter protesters were there, apparently some like anti-fun stuff too, but she just goes right up with the Union Jack, just holds it with full confidence.
They're holding banners and placards. Here's a woman holding a Union Jack defiantly, with squaring off against masked Antifa members. Can we see your sign, please, madam? Madam. It says. Can't quite see what the sign says, but
it says no racists. So yeah, it's just so absurd. Hey, wanting these policies to be handled better by your government and having concerns about these gangs and stuff, that makes you far right and a racist. Apparently, it's just so insane. You got to wonder if the people who say this stuff even like actually believe that. Like, are they actually that crazy, or is it like bad faith or something? I don't even know. Maybe both. I mean, you got to be a little messed up upstairs to do this even in bad faith, I would imagine. But yeah, we'll watch like, I don't know, 10 more seconds or so.
Can't quite see what the sign says, but
It says no racism, Englander. Oh wait, no wait, Tommy. If you guys don't know, I'm certain some of you who are from the UK knows the Germans called the British Tommy in World War I.
literally squaring off here alone. I mean, it's the personification of Britain at the moment. A lone British woman, you know, by herself, defiantly holding up a Union Jack flag against a sea of Antifa masked protesters.
Here's another example of why people are protesting from just a few days ago. Telegraph had said migrant staying in hotel tried to kidnap girl 10 years old. A migrant staying in a hotel in Greater Manchester has been charged with attempting to kidnap a 10-year-old girl. Idris Abdelrazig, 30, allegedly tried to abduct the girl in Stockport on July 13th while she was out with her father. Mr. Abdelrazig is a Sudanese national who had been staying in a 3-star, €100 a night hotel, the Sun reported. This tweet points that out in a video where this woman talks about how there are literal schools in the UK. For example, Birmingham Schools of Sanctuary, which their bio says encouraging schools across the region to promote welcome, inclusion, and awareness for people seeking sanctuary.
Encouraging schools across the region to promote welcome, inclusion, and awareness, or in this case, DEI. And look at that, the post is protected. Wow, is this Twitter? I think this is Twitter. Of course, it's Twitter and it is blocked. Cowards.
Bio says encouraging schools across the region to promote welcome, inclusion, and awareness for people seeking sanctuary. And they're having these little kids make heart-shaped cards. I'm trying to find the part of this video. Here we go.
And some of these messages they've written are so political in nature too. There's one that says, "Stop the Rwanda scheme." Others say, "I love refugee rights." Schools and nurseries take part in Schools of Sanctuaries, the scheme run by City of Sanctuary UK.
Here's another example. Little kid holding up a card that says, "I love refugee rights." Here's some more examples of the cards, all shaped like hearts, with an arrow going through it too, saying it's like a Valentine's card. Now, call me crazy, but I don't think a little kid would like randomly get the idea, oh, I want to make a heart-shaped card to send to migrants, to these asylum seekers. This seems like something most likely that adults were compelling these children to do. And if you really want to say, you could probably even argue that they're grooming these children into making political statements.
And they're gonna get away with it. The only way those teachers won't get away with it is if that their parents are aware, and also their children has either a hidden camera to see everything. You don't know. There was one time I heard some kids snuck a camera in their classroom to see what is going on. And sure enough, the family saw it and fight back.
That's already weird enough, but then on top of that, these same people tend to be radio silent about the actual horrific things that are being done to children. And if anything, they demonize the people speaking out about it. So they don't want to talk about the children when it comes to that stuff. They want to brush all that under the rug. But then they're all for using the kids as some sort of vehicle of making political statements. It's all just very twisted.
Sometimes these people, I have a feeling that they went through gender study in their own school. So to all my viewers and the people of the United Kingdom, congratulations. And I know it is hard for any of you to protest without facing fear that you might be the next one to be arrested. You did the brave thing, you stand up. It takes courage and balls to do it. And I'm certain some of you have already signed that petition, the UK petition, forcing the UK government for another general election. Keir Starmer, instead of putting your head in the sand, why did you just listen to the people? Listen to the people. If they say they don't want these migrants, listen. Oh wait, you don't want to listen. You prefer to put your head in the sand, and when people come hounding you, you cry racism and use the victim card. Ingenious. Let's see how long that lasts.
Don't let him get away. Big schlecht. That's one less to worry about.
Leave a like and subscribe if you want gaming news, gaming theories, or you just want to see me play games. Visit my first, third, and fourth channel up here or link in the description.